Howdys and salutations, y'all. How are we doing? Hopefully it's been a good couple of days so far. Hope y'all had a nice restful break. Sorry that we couldn't do a yesterday stream, and I apologize to people on the VODs who have to deal with me opening every single video with an apology for missing. Schedule's been not-so lately, and I decided that ultimately it was wiser to actually sleep rather than just sort of carrying on my sleep debt for another week. Which was the right choice, because today at work was great, today after work was great. Pardon. I feel like I've just been on point, so hopefully that will continue through the stream. We'll see. We will really see. I genuinely make no promises, but here's hoping. Wow, this is... Okay, a couple things going on, real quick. Updates before we get into this. In the world of not quite... Well, I guess there's an art to it. We're painting our bathroom. So if the fumes are bad, I may have to pause at some point and wrap early. I don't think it'll be an issue, but it might be. However, much more interestingly right now is it's, I think, made me a little more in tune with audio, because, you know, going into a room and talking when there's no, like, I don't know, towels or sound dampening anything makes you more attuned to echoes. And this is the first time I've properly noticed how much sound is echoing off of my tablet, so I apologize if I sound echoey in this microphone. It is possible I may need to swap back to an old school approach. I'm still trying to figure out an audio set, because I try to do things that'll make my audio quality better, because I do... Look, I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert on this, but I agree with the old Game Grumps adage from years ago that the thing that really makes or breaks viewership on a video in the first couple seconds is audio quality. If your audio quality is bad, no one will listen to you. Just full stop, because it's more distracting than almost anything else. Bad video quality, people will deal with if it's interesting. Probably less so with art, but still. Like, lame content, everyone practices and gets better, you know, but if the audio is bad, even if it's fascinating, people will bail, like, immediately. And so I keep trying to figure out the best ways to improve that, and that's just something I need to, I guess, do more research on. Or commit to making an actual soundy booth-ish sort of thing, instead of just facing a corner, which probably has the worst echo back I could possibly imagine. We'll see. The other thing is that, my tablet's angled slightly differently right now. I'm gonna try angling it down and see if that improves anything. Okay, let's see. Nope, that's still bad. Wow, it's fascinating that I can kind of tell now. Well, it's not... It's a little better, I suppose. You'll have to tell me at home if it's, like, noticeably different or not. I, honest to goodness, can't tell you more. So we'll tweak audio in future streams or with feedback if y'all want to throw it at me. Obviously, no pressure to actually interact. I'm not your teacher. You are not graded on participation. However... In fact, I was going to say however, but you're not graded on anything. It's a freebie here. This class isn't even pass-fail, it's just pass. I guess if you manage to get yourself banned, that's fail, but we've literally never had to ban anyone, so it's fine. You're probably fine. Instead, what we're hoping to do is a little more fun with Olivine. Now, I know it's been a few weeks, and even looking at this, I'm at that point where, you know when you walk away from an art piece long enough that when you come back to it, you're like, ugh. Like, you no longer see what the original vision in your mind was, you just see what it is, and you're like, oh, cool, that's all off. Which is why at some point in the intervening weeks, I left a message to myself about what to fix, which I appreciate, because that arm looks like it belongs to something out of stinking Dark Souls 1 Abyss, so we're gonna have to fix that. Wrist at the waist, guys. Oh, jeepers. Okay, so we got some stuff to fix. We still have plenty of hours left in this one. I know that we usually try to structure it with 15 minutes for posing, hour for sketch, hour for inks, hour for grayscales and such, and then a little more time for color. But I think this one could benefit from a little more sketch time. And you know, maybe we take that out of the color. We've already got a pretty solid color palette, and I don't think we're going to mess with it too crazy. More importantly, I also don't think the grayscaling on this one is going to be crazy, because I don't know that we're going to go into a ton of detail on it. What I am going to focus on is proportions, because there's problems here. So, I will, you know, I don't have the online timer started. Let me see if I can dig that out. Dagnabbit, I've cleaned my desktop since the last time we did. Well, here it is. Not where I wanted it to be, mind, but, you know, it's there. Let's see if we can't add that back. Online timer. Oh, it's big. It's very big. Wow. Okay, let's make this slightly less awful. Let me actually open up the window. We're not going to need the full hour for this one. Let's give ourselves an additional 30 minutes, because we actually, not 30 hours. I'd love 30 hours. That would be more time than we spent on Melania. That would be so much time. It would be wonderful. Ill-advised, though. Very much ill-advised. Okay, can y'all actually see? Cool, there's our time. We get this set up in a place where it's not hyper-distracting. And, yeah, I'll kick it off in just a second, and we'll get going here, trying to clean this up a bit, because there's some, I would say, obvious proportional issues that can be corrected. I'm sorry that we got so far into the details before we actually bothered to fix those. What is layer 1, real quick? Are we further into this than I think? Nope, no. Yeah, okay, so we had posing, which I clearly did not follow on my sketch layer. I guess I was going for something more dynamic, but, like, probably should have actually stuck with the darn pose. Oh well. Anyway, two main things to fix. One of them is comparatively easy. I think we can mess with the resize tool and get the arm not garbo, and that'll change the spear position, but that's fine. The other one is a bigger problem. And it's not going to solve everything, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of stuff that could be better on this. I'd like it if they were lower to the ground in terms of getting more bracing, but, you know, we're dealing with what we got. They're clearly dealing with an attack from someone above them, or something above them. So we'll deal with that when we get there. But first, I'm gonna yawn, and then we'll get started. I know that's not an important bet first, but I still had to do it first. Okay, so, zooming in a little bit on our sketch. We've got our sketch layer, we've got our timer. Let's do this. Woo! It's good to be back in the thick of things. I do want to do more Passepartout, and I've actually found a couple of interesting things. One, I've finally figured out how to do, you know, video that is from the real world as opposed to screen capture, so I might be able to do some more crafty stuff, or like proper sketchbook things, which have always been more my jam anyway, truth be told. It's funny given what I stream, but digital art is actually my least favorite medium that I work in. I just don't enjoy it all that much compared to all the others. Like, it's fine, but it's more effort. I can tell I've reposed this arm a few times already, so it's possible that we're going into this with far too much confidence that we'll be able to fix it. But let's go ahead and grab the joint there. Let's just deal with the fact that that's already bad. I'm not taking the spear with me this time. We'll move it later if we need to, because this stinking monster arm is too long. Standing up, which I shall do so the audio quality may vary, but standing up, like, your wrist really comes down to, like, your hips, at least generally. I mean, everyone's proportions are different, but that's where it should be landing, roughly. This wrist, if they were standing straight up, I'm fairly confident would make it to almost their knee. That's not right. Heck, if I mirrored this, I'm sure that I could literally just, like, see that. Oh, right, this pen doesn't play nice with the transform tool. Good to remember. Yeah, like, that elbow is getting us all the way down there. And then this arm is going to be getting us, yeah, almost to the knee. That ain't right. That is super not correct. So let's shrink it first, and then we'll adjust the actual proportions. Because this obviously looks a little silly with a tiny baby hand. Okay. That... Okay, so that, more like this. I'll get wrist to somewhere down here. Much more correct, much less bad. So, now, we deal with the fact that the pen quality has also been destroyed by that. Let's see if we can't do some slightly, but I'm actually gonna new layer this. Sketch more. That's a very helpful layer name, I know. Sketch one, I'm actually gonna, as we do, just so that I don't end up on the wrong layer. Best layer defense I've ever had is just make the other layers less visible. It saves a lot of pain in the long run. We'll stick with that, because that design's hardly final in any case. Got the elbow coming out here. A little bit of a plate on it, perhaps. That's always fun. That'll actually kind of tie in with Salt's boots, too, so that'll be nice. And we can keep the actual arm, like, width-wise, the arm can be proportional to what we've been doing. But this way, it won't, you know, also be way too large lengthwise. Okay, where's our sight line on this? I never even established a horizon line, and I know I don't do that much with characters, but I really oughta. Because, let's see, we're clearly above the waist, given the curvature of the belt, but like only a little bit, so I guess we're like here on the stomach, kinda? Which means that this is gonna be roughly level. Fine, whatever. We got just like a little bit of curvature there. I'm not super sold. I see this kind of leather end all the time, and I know it's easy to do, but it looks so generic, even if it's like not historically wrong. I'm gonna go for something a little bit tighter on this one. Like we could have like a little bit, but I don't want that to be a ridge so much as like an actual thicker section. Ooh, that's a big eraser. Okay, and then we'll deal with, I can see we had some interesting stuff going on with that, so we'll try to continue that energy of sort of interlaced leather bits. Fine with that. And then wrist, because honestly, like, what even happened to the hand? It's been moved too many times, and you can tell. But the other thing I can do is, let's think through the spear a little more, which I put on the same sketch layer, which was dumb. We're going to hide poses at least to eliminate one of these confusing things. Let's see. Assuming I straight line this just to plan it, we could always have it crossing at the same point, but aimed more forward, which, honestly, would probably be better. I probably should have rotated the torso before we did the arm, but I think we're still going to be okay with the arm's relative angle to us generally. I just realized that it's still way too small. That's the problem with zooming in. You lose scale a little bit. That's fixable, though. And I think that's honestly fine. This also would not be a traditional thing to have in the shield, but we could always... It's a dumb thing to add, but I do like the idea of character design through art quirks. So when we're doing the initial character designs, like, there's no shame in taking inspiration in those little tweaks you do to make the art piece look good. Even if they won't be needed for other art pieces, it gives a little character to something. Plus, I like the idea of having a shield hole under the shield, with the concept that this is still someone who's fairly young and learning. So of course they would be shorter than most of their opponents and would have the shield higher. Now that wouldn't work for long-term combat, but like you're still going to have to learn the skills, and in any case, like being locked into having that notch so low would be risky even if you stayed the same height, just because it's, you know, one technique and people can get around that if they know. But the idea of having the shield aimed up and more consistently having the spear aimed through below it, I think is interesting. Because that would even allow you to sort of cover your face more directly. We'll start with that. I don't know that it makes actual sense, but I think it's a more interesting spot for the spear. That said, I'm not committing to this line yet. We see where it needs to go. First off, we're gonna make the arm bigger, because it needs to be. It doesn't necessarily need to be crazy round. I've been trying to figure out good ways to simplify some of this stuff. But it does need to be proportional to the rest of everything. Now we're gonna have to tweak that size a little bit too. That's okay. Clear out some of these. Ay. Fine. Let's just... when we ink this, thank heavens we're inking it. This is not one where the sketch layer is going to end up looking great. Okay, I still want these to be like the majority of the arm, not just the top little section. Something like that, yeah. Okay, we roughly know where we want the spear. Let's see. I'm just going to get like where the hand ought to be for holding that. actually, hold on. Thumbs, yep, thumb would be this way. Spear will be roughly there. Spear will not be whatever that nonsense is. Now, let's look zoomed out. That looks... The hand is still much too small. It's amazing how easy it is to make hands too small, you know? Because they're actually much bigger than you think. Pretty much always. Unless you've, you know, been doing this a while. Which I haven't. I mean, we've been streaming for the better part of a year at this point. It's crazy to think how much time has gone by. And how much longer it feels than that. But that's okay. We've done a lot of different things. Okay, and then hopefully this is just grabbing the one layer and not all of the others, because I'd like to make this bigger and more down. And like a little more tilt. Because this should really be, you know, on the shoulder joint, which means we may not even need that top one necessarily. Oops. Let's start with this. Still seems like that's much too small. Yeah. This is the one character where I actually kind of like the idea of the one-sided pauldron. And it's not... How do I put this? It's not that I dislike the idea in general, I always think it's cool, but this is one of the few where it also actually makes sense. And so that's fun. Because the historian in me likes things to at least sort of make sense. Like, I like abstract craziness too, but for these characters I'm trying to go for something a little more coherent. Even if it's silly coherent. It should still be logically coherent within the universe, you know? Honestly, maybe we don't need the repeating patches. Let's just do something simple like that. Need a little edge on it though, so it's not deflecting swords directly into her neck. I mean, that's still basically what that does. That's not a good concept. So everything I said about realism earlier, maybe that was just hogwash and I didn't like the old design because it looked too generic to me. That's very possible. Oh well. Let's see. We'll sort of need a connection there. These will keep wrapping around. And then this can be more of a... Wait, hold on. Other way. It's honestly, it's too much detail in the arm, and having these lines here, I should probably like make them more sporadic. We'll see. We'll mess with that. It doesn't guide the eye very well. Especially because we're already going to have so much detail on that part. This side should be really simple. Even if historically accurate, it shouldn't necessarily be. But I also want it to look good for the art, you know? And it took me no time at all to completely negate all that talk about historical accuracy, huh? Turn her into the Michelin Man. Not sure I like turning her into the Michelin Man. But that's fine. This is still a better arm, although it makes me realize that this one is probably... Well, this one looks so tiny, though. Oh boy, the proportions on this one are such a mess. Okay. I'm remembering why I didn't want to come back to this one, and I really want to just like restart the drawing using this as inspiration. Which is tempting. I wouldn't have much time on it though, because I'm not giving myself more on the timer. Tell you what. Since we're doing this in 15-minute increments, let's use the remaining 1722, and then we'll think just a little bit. Just a little bitty bit. Do some practice stuff. We'll see how we want to handle this. I do like that notch. And I do like this spear point. I'm not super thrilled about how it's connecting there. I think that was just a run out of time issue, though. Oh, it really didn't like that. Let me turn it. Oh boy. Don't crash on me, buddy. Spear point isn't aligned with the spear. That's not great. Anything being held that far out is going to need some sort of counterbalance. I like that the fuzz actually seems to be affected by gravity, though. It's not fuzz, it's supposed to be decorative, but you know. There we go. So, if I take a moment, let's use this last little bit of time to clear out the old spear. Where is the old spear? Ah, there we go. Oh, it's, yeah, of course it's on the original sketch layer. I thought I was on the original sketch layer. That was why I was confused. Let's see. Oops, I wanted one of those lines. I don't like those cross tangents, though. That was nice. Okay, there we go. Oh, I did the line over itself so much. Man, I must have been just in a different world when I started this. To be fair, I had been so tired so much recently. Just bad sleep schedule management. I prioritized the wrong things. They weren't bad things to prioritize, but they probably weren't the right things to prioritize, you know? Oh, and that's our time. Because I want to take back 15 minutes of this. So let's dig out our timer. Okay, Olivine. Olivine. Yeah, I like how the face and the headwear turned out actually quite a lot. Gonna have to mess with the hair a little bit. Like, unless that's ribbons, in which case maybe you have to add hair? Not sure. The problem is almost everything else. 0.25 hour. Just so we're tracking it. So we've used 1.5 hours of our 4. Now, this is the part where I dig out Pinterest, wherever the heck I put it. I was using it earlier to practice some She-Ra style studies, which, for the record, that show, like, was the one where I had done fan art for stuff before, and I'd practiced art, like, as a hobby. I'd done some serious-ish stuff. But, like, the first time I really, like, studied art, and specifically people, and, like, how to... It was not art in general, but specifically drawing characters, was definitely with She-Ra, the new one from 2018. 5 years ago. And, like, I've realized it has a lot of influence... Wow, okay, well, sure, whatever. This'll do. Not that. Have y'all ever noticed that if you, like, hold your mouse down and spin it a bunch on Windows, it minimizes everything on the screen? I have a nervous tick where I just do that without meaning to, and it really throws me off. In any case, what I was saying is, the She-Ra, it's not even necessarily how much it impacted, like, my art style, but how much it impacted my idea of what I want my art style to look like. It's like what I end up judging against, which is really interesting, because I didn't realize that until I was going back to study it, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's how I like to do faces, and that's how I want to do this, and that's it, huh. So it's had a lot of impact. Okay, poses. Some interesting options here. What did we end up basing that pose on? I think it can't have been based on this one. Surely not. Here, we're gonna make this smaller. Y'all can just deal with my background for a minute. It's not too bad, I hope. Got the Mikula refs. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about that project. The prerequisite was getting better at faces, and we're getting there. We are getting there. I have tangible progress both on stream and in my sketchbook of finally getting the hang of faces a little bit. Plenty of room to improve, but I feel like I'm starting to get things. They're not clicked in place, but like it's not jammed up anymore. So of these 5 poses, which one was I basing it on? I guess it was probably this one. Looking at this. Oh yeah, let's actually make that a little more visible again. Zoop. Looking at that. I see the similarities. I also see why that probably didn't work so great. It's more distant, poised for combat. A lot of things about that didn't ultimately add up. Let's see, other pose options. Well, let's dig deeper into my stuff. Let me see if I've got a pose one that I have that's not shared. I might. Zoople doople doop boop 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 boop. I don't. Well, I know we had more for Sifimir though. Let's look at the Sifimir stuff. Pose options. A lot of stuff in here. Obviously these are archery oriented, so they're a little different. The recommendeds at the bottom are always kind of hit or miss. I need to finish Owl House. I'm 1 episode away. Okay. As far as poses are concerned, though... Let's look at this one. Starla's Art Studio. Cool. I mean, these are more casual. It's not like a patches squat. Oh, jeepers. Okay, some more here. Lots of options. Ooh, these are dynamic. I like those. But don't worry, we won't spend all day on this. I'm just trying to look for some ideas before we jump into stuff. I love how wild this one is. Like, that's such a crazy position to do archery from. There may be a situation where you need to, but I can't imagine what it is. Okay. I don't know what Twitch TOS on some of this is. Just in case it doesn't like that one, the dude without a shirt, then let's I'll pull that off screen, just in case. I'm sure it's not the worst thing that's been on Twitch, but I also know that people, well, I don't know for sure. People tell stories about Twitch being a little inconsistent with stuff, and I see no reason to risk it. There's where we're at right now. We'll leave that up on screen. What's a good pose that would work for what we've got so far? Ordran poses, a few things from Dark Souls. That's always fun. They won't work with the spear, though. Well, that one might, but... Trying to think. Let's look at this one. I like this one. It says it's by Vanessa Palmer. Cool. Don't know much about Behance or what that is. Again, oh, jeepers. Not sponsored or anything. I'm just going through Pinterest. I can't vouch for the quality of squat. Definitely not sponsored by Nature's Valley, though. Okay, I like this pose, though, because it's got the medium-sized shield. It's a round shield instead of the one we're looking at. But I like it. It's leaning more into the action as opposed to away from it, which is what I think I wanted. It's just not what we ended up doing. It's also profile, which will be kind of interesting. I think we've gotten some better direct face or 3/4. That one's kind of 1/4. Yeah, whatever it is. So let's look at this one as a reference. Chuck it in Olivine for poses. We've got it on hand because obviously also the art style on this is beautiful. I love the kind of like, you can still see the brush strokes. I love these ones where you've got like the fuzzy, like not bad anti-aliasing, but like intentionally fuzzy rough edges as though it's painted. It's also got a really good line of action, countering the arrows. This parallels with the body. It's good. It's a really good piece. And it's what I'd like. I think I like that pose for Olivine. It also takes some of the strain off of some of the other design pieces that were holding us up, which again, I'd like to design for a full character sheet, which I want to do before Art Fight, but I don't think that they're necessarily what we want to do for this first one while we're on time limits. The time limit is to get a character concept done. Like, because normally I futz about with things way too much, and I want to just be able to say, hey, vague concept idea, let's throw some stuff on Pinterest together, let's throw some ideas together, and let's at least draw an initial draft. Because I can't, as they say, you can't edit a blank page, and that's as true in art as it is in writing. I can't work on this character design until I've got something to work on. You can't push it further if you don't have lines to push. So just trying to get this, not wasting too much time in the initial phase, and that's the whole point of these like 4-hour and hopefully eventually shorter than that, like character design sessions. It's not necessarily that the finished piece is going to be great. It probably won't be. Sometimes they'll be fine. I'm actually like, Sifamir turned out, it's an interesting style. It's not necessarily what I would have aimed for, but I don't hate it. It's intriguing. But I like how the character design turned out. I think it's not the most unique thing in the world, but it's not boring, and it's at least, you know, a character design that I can now tweak it. If I see something that I'm like, that's too generic, I can work on that. I still think we need to lean into the apron more. I think that's fun. And I'd love to do cooking stuff on this channel someday. Not that I'm a good chef, but it's fun. I've got a mean pumpkin spice snickerdoodle. And by mean, I mean average. But no, yeah, so let's throw that in our refs, and truth be told, here's what I'm gonna do. Let's see how much of this Olivine character we can do in that pose. So I'm even going to, hold on. Can I add a second web capture? Browser. No, it's not that one. The window, it's window capture. Pinterest. Got this one. Okay. What can y'all see on? Oh, yeah, you can see the whole darn thing. Cool, that works. Oh, it's not gonna let me resize it widthwise, is it? Oh. I wonder if there's a way to get that to work. I mean, other than going over here and resizing this window. I've done it, sort of. A really great characters. Or, like, this is a fun character. Believable gladiator. Okay, so we got that. We're still operating on the same time frame, and we may end up fudging it because of this change, but I'd rather... Look, I don't expect to get Olivine done today. I'd like to have Olivine done this week if possible. Tomorrow's going to be a weird stream due to a weird doctor's appointment, but generally speaking, it should be good. I'd still plan on streaming. That's 45 minutes. That's not going to be much time to do this, but as long as we focus on the right priorities... And I think one of the things I want to mess with in the future is bigger canvas size, so I can use a bigger brush and not have quite so stringy lines. But in the meantime, we don't have to worry about that too much. Because my other issue, as always, is I'm trying to cram too much detail into the wrong places. Although I do think like the boots balance is good. This has stinking a lot going on, but I suppose it should. And this character is going to completely replace another character I've been sort of working on, which was Feldspar. Wait a second. I just remembered that when I was first designing this character, I'd intended her to have at least partial plate mail. Like, not the complete stuff. The era of my setting would be a little too early for that. In any case, it's not really what I enjoy drawing full on, but having something would make... I mean... Oh, jeepers. We'll tweak it. But this is really supposed to be sort of the tank slash, well, not tank of the party, because it's not D&D composition or video game composition, but, you know, the knight. Design tweaks. I suppose characters can change outfits. That's not really a design tweak so much as just a thing they're allowed to do. Okay. We're gonna do... Oh, no. Vector layer, please. Delete this. What can I say except delete this? Don't want to get caught. Be struck by Disney. Not that I will. It was not a good singing voice. I can sing okay, but no, that wasn't it. Neo sketch. Okay, we got this. How's this look on... Not an... Oh, jeepers. How's this look on a fully white background? Just to see. It's not necessarily something I want to do. If we hide everything else. And we go all the way up. Max FFF. And we fill the whole darn thing. Looks gray on this monitor. Been looking at paint colors too much. Okay, so we got our sketch. That actually, I mean, it looks like stinking printer paper. It's not appealing at all. Kind of works on stream though. Might be a little more visible. Looks fuzzy. Everything looks a little fuzzy. I hope that's not as blurry for y'all as it looks to me. That would be unfortunate. Gonna have to work on that. But what it also means is maybe. Hold on, let's... Opacity opacity up on this layer, opacity down on these layers. Still want to be able to see them though. Maybe we go for a slightly bigger brush, bigger pencil. And truth be told, I'm not taking advantage of the tilt on this. So maybe let's try... Maybe mechanical pencil, maybe I want that more consistent. We can at least go up to 4. I think that'll probably be more in line with what I want. My problem is with mechanical pencil, what I really want it to do, because this is how I use actual mechanical pencils, is up and down, fine point, yes, this is lovely. But I want the side to quickly get wider, because I end up flattening it pretty quick and using it for shading. And so that's what I wanted with the tilt pencil, and it's still... Like, it does it a bit, but it's still not quite where I want it to be. It's better with larger pen sizes, like that's closer to what I would actually expect. But it also clearly messes with some of the other tools, so I've got to be careful with it. I guess we can tilt pencil. Well, it gets so narrow though. Like we end up just with tapers off into the void. So I'll tell you what, this one, let's do mechanical pencil. I like that sharpness. We'll have to tweak our tilt pencil at some point in the future. That brush still needs a little refinement. But what we can do in the meantime... Okay, hold on. Yeah, I want that. I really include this on the sketch layer. It's not wrong, it's just a weird choice. Nope, I don't want to move a single line. I'd like to move this entire layer, please. How do I move the entire layer? Select layer. Ah, jeepers. No, I mean this layer. Object. Don't think any of those tool properties look like what I want. Sure, I can grab that layer, fine. Too well, in fact. That's fine. I didn't want to have to select the whole darn thing, but I guess that's what we're doing. Such a complicated way to do it, and it messes with line quality. Like, once I click OK on this, assuming it doesn't just straight up crash, like, the quality of those lines is going to be even worse. Okay, well, that's maintained it better than I'd expected. Now, to warm up on this, give me just a second. Let's... Got Neo Sketch. I need to rename some things. Should have just used layer 1 for that. I know there's nothing on it. Well, we can use layer 1 as a quick little warm-up layer while we do this. Just to work out the pose, I'm not counting this against the timer because this will not be the final character. I just want to sort of get a feel for this pencil more than anything else. Ah, that's too long. Okay. this arc. Now this is without doing any sort of like proportional size finding or anything. I'm just doing like a quick little sketch based on the reference image that we've got over here. I really like it. It's a fun one to do a study of. I like how sharp their folds are. That's fun. And I've got this belt that actually like comes down as opposed to these lines, which are clearly just ones that I put in the wrong place. Okay, let's see. I'd love to, for the record, on streams, I'd love to actually incorporate more of a warm-up thing. I need to figure out a good way to balance the time on that. Alright. Not a vector layer, so the vector eraser isn't great. In any case, we're just sort of messing with this. That's a silly big boot. Oh well. Like the anchor that this like has. Like this is a character that I believe could actually fight in the gladiatorial arena. I've done a really good job with her. Pretty cool. And again, this is not my original work. We've got him with the original name on here. Oops, let me go back to the webpage. Credit where it's due. Always credit where it's due. It says Vanessa Palmer. Don't know who that is, but they do cool art apparently. So, many kudos. Oh, I didn't even notice. See, this is the perk of like actually drawing something, is it forces you to notice these cool details, like the flare over there. The fact that this really should go more down the leg like that. Hard eraser. Actually, like, yeah, there we go. That's better. Just while we're doing this, I know this has too much curve to it. It should really curve in a little more, not quite that much, but you know, it'll do. This got the roundness. You can actually see the inside of the shield. The angle of the shield is important, however, because it's deflecting things. I don't like that the rim is consistent on both, as though it's actually like a material and not just painted, like on the inside and the outside. There's that. I've made them a little too short and squatty. Quick tweaks, quick tweaks. Like the face, which I'm not going to be able to capture well, especially not in this sketchy no proportion planning style, which is a fun style, but it's good for like getting like a feel for something. It's bad for actual finished pieces, you know. A nice little flare coming up there, but not quite that much. It's still believable with the motion. Your stray hairs, because of course if you're fighting the arena, you're not going to be able to keep your hair in tip-top shape. Collar, because, you know, that actually makes sense to exist. Determined eyes looking at the opponent, not at the ground. Come on. Not at the ground. We've got the second, we've got like a little pauldron happening over here, which makes sense on the side opposite the shield, once again. Just do this quick little study. A little bit of hand, doesn't need anything crazy over there. It's not the focal point. I kind of like that. It's like a proper cylinder. Except not that trapezoidal. And this is more of like a Roman gladius type deal they seem to have going on here. Fitting for an arena fight, along with this type of shield. The arrows breaking on it dramatically are a little silly from my mind, but you know, it's good for the action shot. I like that. You know, obviously, this is just a super rough facsimile. I'm just trying to get a feel for the pencil, which is honestly not bad to use. Cool, we'll name this layer Style Study. Vanessa Palmer. For the record, Pinterest is a dubious place to source stuff, because it's basically reposting the website. That's what it's designed for. You pin existing things. Yeah, you also upload new stuff, but you know, it's not necessarily the intended purpose, so. I feel like a 5 is going to be more what I want for this actual sketch. Okay. So y'all, I'm going to, here's the plan. I'm going to go use the restroom. We're going to take a look at this pose, because I really like this pose. Leaning into it. Anchored foot. Not like in motion, but like anchored. Oh, jeepers, I shouldn't be doing this in the background. Okay. There we go. Pose 2, probably out of time this, but whatever, it's going to be like 20 seconds. Go. Anchored forward. This one still in motion, supporting it. Leaning into the action. I like this pose. Face there, shield there, arm more there. Again, this is not the exact proportions. We will do exact proportions on the flip side of this restroom break when we have a go at a 45-minute brand new sketch, which is a bad idea, but we're going to try it. So, I will see y'all in just a couple moments, and we will kick that off. Oh, dag nabbit, I've been talking to you this whole time. Rats! Hey, Dado, how are you? Thank you. Oh, man. Stinking sprinted here and everything to get back, only to just sit here silently for ages. Yeah, sorry. How have you been? Good, glad you're good. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm out of breath. That was still... We're painting the bathroom, so I had to sprint to one that's a lot further away. Which was not great. But yeah, no, what we're doing here, we're just finishing up an old time trial is all that I'm doing. This, obviously the art in the top left is not mine. That's, we've got the layer named Vanessa Palmer. We're just trying to mimic the pose, because I think it's a really good pose. With the note, especially that the arm actually does obscure the face. It's a reminder that I need to actually think through the arm to knee height, which should be more like this. Proportions. But yeah, no, we've been having some fun with Passepartout, which is an interesting game. But today we're getting back to a little more of the traditional art stuff that, you know, the stream actually is theoretically about. But yeah, hope things are all good where you're at. Okay, so that's sort of the shape for that head. We will adjust with Olivine's hairpiece, which is fun and different. I say apparently completely unironically. Okay. Neo sketch, because that's really more of a pose and proportions thing. On the note of that, let's actually think through the proportions before I just commit to it. Because this is, you know, truthfully... That's, like, ominously narrow. I don't think people are actually shaped like that. Oh, I mean, that's the best time for a cheese toasty. I think we call those grilled cheese over here. Which is funny, because, you know, you don't... I guess you can grill them. Like, it's not a prereq. Oh, there we go. Oh, dang nabbit, did I do that on the Neo sketch layer? Ah, well, easy fix. Easy fix. Oh, yeah, that's always a risk. And it's not usually a risk I actually want to take. You know? Like, well, maybe. Keep this character design a little more simplified this time. I know we've made it small. We can make it a little bigger. But I still want to keep this snappy on the wrong layer. I need to rename these layers. Ah, yeah. The eternal question, though. Like, you never want to wake someone up. Pose. Fine. That's still the wrong layer, isn't it? Oh, no, it's the right one. Yay! I'd offer to go check, but it's going to take me like 14 hours and I don't know where you live. So, sorry, I probably can't help you more than that. Okay, let's see. So from this angle, we're looking at... belt of sorts. Make it more dramatic belt. But kind of lost in that crease a little bit. It's fine. Guess we don't need this reference up so much anymore. Ah, nope, that's the entire stream. This one, we'll just put that away for now. We need Olivine. Simple, clean. I really ought to come from further over. I'd trust a sleep talking parent on that, on like food quality. That's probably fine. Perhaps I'm a sleeper agent designed to... Oh, well, if it's in date, then you're set. I've heard they're, like, changing what they display on the date ranges of some of those, like some foods. I don't think meats are going to be an issue. But apparently there's some where they're like, hey, people don't actually listen to this, and it's not that important, so we're going to shift on a few of them. It's still important with meat, though. People actually listen to them for meat. It's a cool boot design. I like that boot design, if I say so myself. Soup. Okay, hold on. In the original, it really ought to arc in, shouldn't it? So actually the top ought to be what arcs out. One smooth line. One smooth line. There we go, that'll do. Overthinking these boots. As is the way. We had some baggy clothes under here, that's fine. And even a little bit of chainmail, if I recall. I won't mess with that too much. Yay. Clown shoe looking. I'm so bad at getting shoe sizes right. And foot sizes in general. We'll just go flat bottom for that. All the like actual seams and such are on the other side, so we'll just leave it like that for now. Trying to think through what the boot's looking like, realizing I only have 35 minutes because this is a time trial. Wondering why I've done this to myself. That's fine. Similar deal over here. Smooth line, but where is it aimed? This. That's fun. You'll have to let me know how the cheese toasty turns out. Seem like this. So not the things to prioritize at this stage, but that's okay. Oops. tangents there. Cool. We've got boots and legs down to some extent. Good. I'm glad it's good. Okay, outfit design times. Oh, jeepers. There's so much going on with this one. This is why I should have rethought some of it. So I guess this is going to be more like that, which means actually it's going to be more like that. Assuming the motion direction is correct. Still not thrilled with this sort of pencil, but it's interesting, so I'm gonna have to work with it because I've not been thrilled with the old one either, so we may as well experiment a little. Got the other one. Sort of underlies it. Chainmail-y sort. Which, life hack for chainmail, depending on the type you want to do. Just the letter L. Fairly believable, weirdly. Like, it's not great, you know, it's not an exact, but it's a heck of a lot quicker than actually trying to draw a proper chainmail interlocking. And it's not the worst way to abstract it. I'm sure there's better ways, but, you know, it works. I'd like to get a lighter line than that if I can. Because these aren't really important lines there. Yeah, okay. We'll say it's folding under itself a little bit here. Whoops. Oh, yeah, it's... yeah. No. I also get the joy of, with this character, of a grid pattern, because I'm thinking, why would this be my design choice when I know I'm designing within a time limit? Just thinking, why have I done this to myself? There we go, we've got our kind of checkerboard. I think I'm going to go with less detail than the old design. We'll have, like, periodic squares, but I don't need, like, the full-on triangles that were happening. Cool. Okay, lower half, 30 minutes remained. Oh, cheapers. The idea that this goes up to the shoulder, apparently, because I've done that. I've made that choice. Thankfully not terribly far up on it. You know, it's funny, even looking at medieval drawings of chainmail, like, there was a long historical debate about, like, because some of it would be, like, properly drawn, interlocking, like, complex, you know, really great chainmail, and some of it was just this, where they do, like, a row of circles. Well, no. To their credit, they would do one row of interlocking circles, and then just, like, another one, and, like, another one, and historians were like, is this, like, a different style of chainmail, where they had just rows of it placed on leather? And then other people were like, no, there's no evidence of chainmail like that. The artist just did not want a stinking draw at all. So, this has been a problem as long as chainmail has existed. Even people in the 1200s didn't want to bother. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's some where it's like super hyper detailed, in depth, and they even get like that proper style of chain like technically has like a flat bit at the end, because this was early chainmail, and so they had to like flatten it out and put a pin in it to hold it closed, because it didn't just like hold it with its own tension like modern chainmail. And so then you've got like a linking ring that also does that. Yeah, like nobody has the time to bother with this. I mean, somebody does. Somebody did, but most people didn't. It's one of those fun people in history, not that different from people now. Thick fabric, it won't have too much banding going on over there. This wraps around and then sort of wraps back. So that'll be mostly visible because we'll have a little bit of the trim that goes there and then sort of re-emerges. And it will also be visible because of the stinking "why did I do this" pattern. Why would I do this to myself? I mean, it does show the shape really well, which is good, I guess. This part doesn't need to match the rest of it, and so it won't. Oh right, it's not in line, it's contrast too. There we go, something like that. Nothing crazy, just crazy. Shouldn't have done it. It's fine. Actually, I want this to be on a different axis so it's clear that it's a different bit of fabric. There we go. That looks decent. Okay, looking at the rest of Olivine's design, we've got a lot less of that less detailed bit. There's a little of it visible, but not much. Mainly have this arm, which didn't have any stinking detail on it, so now I guess it does. And then, whatever the heck was happening with the top of the shield. Hold on, where's our viewpoint? Curvature of the shield is very much dependent on our viewpoint, and I think I want our eye line, like, here. Which means... oh wait, no, I don't want to... come back, eye line. I'm going to get rid of this. Here's our horizon line. And further out from that. Barrel! Okay. Top of the shield's going to curve up, though, which is fine. Still going to curve back to us, ultimately, although not that harshly. Looking at the shield design. Fairly basic kite shield, which is period accurate, but I was disappointed it's period accurate, because they're like the most generic shields used in fantasy stuff. Like, so I may retcon this into a great shield later just because it's fun. And it fits this character's sort of tanky personality better. Or rigid personality. Stubborn. I'm being nice. The answer is stubborn. I liked what they did where they had the material of the border continuing on the inside in that other one, so let's continue that trend. It also helps give a little bit of shape to the shield. And we had kind of an interesting thing going on over here. On the top. Which I'm not sold on it actually having been a different layer. I think I just left an old line. Oh, nope. I always hit the wrong button. I want to save, not cut the layer. Okay, the old design had like a chevron-y thing going on. Probably doesn't need to have that visible. No matter. We'd also included a little notch for the spear, which I will leave even though we're no longer using it in this image. Just because I think it's fun. I just think it's neat. This, for the record, would not be a good spear pose. It's going to be one of those, like, obviously a sword pose, because our reference image was a sword. But I'm okay with that. There we go. I think I've potentially drawn something. Is that arm size too small? Not really. I mean, now it's not. Like, this line obviously was. But I feel like the shield itself is too far away. Thanks! Yeah, sometimes you just need a fresh set of eyes on this stuff. Because the other design, like, I'd like the design concepts okay, but the actual art piece result was the torso's twisted the wrong way, the arm was too big, now it's too small. The face is I like the face, but like, the concepts were interesting, but the actual art was bad. And it's one of those where I'd stepped away from it long enough that, like, I could see all the errors, and I was like, oh, I don't want to finish this. What? Oh, cheapers. No, don't include that. Cancel, cancel. Don't include that. Just bring the shield a little closer. Because it's on the elbow, not at the full extent of the arm, so it doesn't need to be at full arm extent out. Leaning into it. And this was just a case of I needed a better pose reference, honestly. Because this new pose, well, it was a case of a lot of things, but the old pose was like 3 different references combined together badly, I think. I honestly can't remember fully. And that wasn't great, shockingly. Okay, hold on. Better arm taper is going to make this a lot more believable. Yeah, that's better. Okay, got that. We'll say that's going to be blocking the rest of the view. How do we want to actually handle the arm? Kind of like that sort of pseudo gauntlet, but that was on the other part. This one's really just like fabric. Which would kind of bunch up against the shield, truth be told. And also against this like overly small sleeve, which I don't know why I've drawn it so small, but it is. So let's make that a little more subtle and a little more harsh. There we go. That looks like thicker fabric. Anything of the shield that's blocked by the arm will actually be not visible. Cool. Zoom out. Proportions look decent. I want the fabric to dip a little more. Even though it's a stiff fabric, gravity should still impact it. Let's see how we're doing on time. 21 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's how it goes. I've still got the Mikola drawing that we haven't finished from Elden Ring, from like a month and a half ago. I do want to come back to it, but we'd hit a wall on stuff, and I was like, well, let's do some other stuff to get better at it in the meantime. And then I hit a wall on that other stuff. But we're getting back into the swing of things, you know? Okay, face. Oh boy, face. Or, alternatively, put off face, do arm. Shouldn't do this, but, you know. A little bit of that visible, but nothing crazy from the old pauldron. And honestly, probably a lot less of it visible than that. Cheapers, I'm on eraser still. There we go, okay. I do know that there is a gauntlet over there of some sort. And from this angle, reeled back, looking at our reference over here, weird shape though it is, it's the underarm, not the underarm, but like the forearm that's really going to be facing the other way. So we'll just have our interlacing leather here. Fine by me. Oh, dang. Yeah, the 4th, and then the Revenge of the 5th. Oh, it's fun. Star Wars Day is always fun. I had to bring back the reference. I don't remember how they angled the hand. Oh, okay. In fact, it was the shoulder that was mostly invisible. And this lower part that was slightly more visible. Yeah, no, I love Star Wars. I was a Star Wars fan before I was a fantasy fan. It's so fun. And coming up with new characters for it is fun, too. It's not something I've done as much as I should have. Nice. Yeah, I mean, just go for it, you know? Why not? With the new movies, it's more believable, actually. They've really, like, sort of given tacit approval, like, yeah, sure, give a clone trooper a lightsaber. We did it. Now you can too. Oh yeah, it's definitely one of those ones where I can see why people would stay away from it just because the hype gets really aggressive sometimes. But it actually is really fun. Really, it's just good movies. Surprisingly good movies, given some of the other stuff they've done. But no, it's good. Okay, so I want the spear to be long. I'm gonna have her choking up on it a little more. Ooh, straight line practice, kind of paying off. Okay. This is below our horizon line, so it will curve like this. Doesn't need to be a ton, just needs a counterweight. I'm not actually that straight, but that's okay. We've got, I covered my timer, and 17 minutes, cool. But yeah, no, Star Wars is a lot of fun. Definitely, my first video game, really and truly, was Lego Star Wars. Like, and that still holds up, in my opinion. I've been playing the new one. I gotta go back and play some more of that. Oh yeah, definitely, I'd love to see it. Always love to see more fan art, and just art in general. We got that spot in the Discord server for it now. I love this spear point design. I got it from a shield, I think, actually. But this idea of, like, contrasting curves, where you've got, like, curves countering against each other is always a design I like. Let's see. And, actually, I'm gonna make it a little bit longer, though. Widen this a little bit, I think. Really lean into this a little more. Not the rounded point. There we go. I've done too many lines on that. That's okay. We got a spear. But yeah, oh yeah. Man, there was a local museum where they actually had a Star Wars exhibit, and they had a bunch of like, it was a traveling exhibit, but it visited our museum. And they had a ton of, like, the props and stuff. Oh man, it was so cool to see. This was so long ago. Part of their display was, like, the ability of computers to determine what's in an image, which now, like, your phone can just do automatically, and, like, we've got AI and all sorts of stuff that can do it. But back then, it was one of those, like, uncracked, unsolvable computer conundrums. Oh man, that was fun. I think they did. Yeah, they did. Not that you could hold, they were, like, in display case. But they also had a bunch of people in costume, which was so fun. I'm on the right layer, correct? Good. Because, you know, that's just, there's something fun about, like, seeing people in costume, in character. It makes you feel so much more like you're actually there. Copy and paste. We're gonna hide the main sketch. I'm gonna scoot this over so I have it as a reference. Cool. Let's even put it here. Nothing ominous about that. Oh, if you feel comfortable, it'd probably be, I'd rather them in the server, because that way everyone can see it, even people who maybe missed the stream. But, you know, obviously if you're not comfortable sharing them with everyone, always feel free to send those my way. A little more tilt to that. Planned out face angle a little more. Makes the nose look a little... I think that's better. Yeah, not that one. Not right now. We'll keep tweaking this and see. Up some new eye techniques since the last time we worked on this. We'll see on that. We'll see if that fits it or not. I don't think I've done it quite right, truth be told. Let's see, it was more of... that, I suppose, and really it wasn't even that harsh. Okay, yeah, well... Let's see. We got 11 more minutes, and then we'll definitely check out your art. Unless you have to leave early, in which case I can totally pause the timer. Oh no, am I still on the copy layer? No! This can be solved. Cool, solved. Okay, yeah, awesome. I don't want to keep you up too late. So if something comes up and you gotta go, let me know. Or slightly more rounded. Shouldn't do that much with a vector line. Always end up regretting doing that much with a vector line, but that's okay. Okay, hold on. The ear's gonna be like here. Oh, jeepers, what did I even do with the ear? Okay, got sort of visor thing going on. I feel like the front of this is a little too vertical. That's better. See it like that. Okay, see that? I've overthought this now. We've got 9 minutes. Whoops. Let's start with this. It can be tweaked. Okay. Total sensitive. I want that in our ear. Okay. I'm just kind of like focusing in the zone, but we may have this in a workable state even before the 11 minutes are up. I'm not going to get overconfident on that though, because it will come back to haunt me, I'm sure. really like this little pattern. Make it like a little bolder as we go forward, but maybe we don't mess with the size. Maybe we just sort of keep it consistent. And let's see, for each one of those, there was like an S curve against it. And this was definitely a pattern I got from a reference of, I think, a table runner, actually, which is funny. Honestly, is actually fairly quick to draw. Okay. Assuming we take out the pose. I mean, again, the proportions aren't perfect, but they're way better than the other one. I feel like the face is... something about the head is a little bit jarring. It's that the eye is too big. Actually, hold on, let me grab this too. Thanks! Yeah, it's definitely coming together better. I also might be just a tiny bit high up. Yeah, that's better. That puts the brow more in line with the brow line, as one might expect. Mouth should come out to the center of the eye, so that lines up now. I'm never good at... It's been too long since I've drawn a mouth in profile. Here could be bigger. Give that a little more flair there. Okay, I'm just trying to think of where else I'd want to spend this last little bit of time. I think redrawing this is one of those rare moments where that was actually the right choice. This looks much better. Let's see. The round shield, there's less space here, so that's okay. Okay, that's better. Let me get like one clean line for the front here. Or perhaps two clean lines. Have our decorations inside without it being as jarring. Whew. That looks like a lot more of an actual, you know, character. The spear feels too short. Or, oh, it may just be too wide. Okay, so there's still some proportional issues here, but it's so much better than the last one. Except the face. The old face was solid. That was a solid 3/4 view face. I was very happy with that. Now it's obscured enough that it's like a little hard to tell what's going on with it. Can't tell what it is about the spear specifically. The proportions on the spear feel weird. Maybe I think it needs to be longer, truthfully. And like such a pain. Just get over here, and let's make it a little more narrow, too. This is how we'll use the last minute here. That feels better, actually. The head still feels like the face is a tiny bit too big. But that's something that can be adjusted more easily on another day. During the inking phase, we can always try to adjust a tiny bit here, at risk of messing things up slightly. That does actually feel better. And I can tell already that the shape around the mouth is not quite correct, but that's all fine. That is all stuff that can be solved. And I'm no longer looking at just a really disproportionate mess. Whew! That also shows up a lot better on stream. Like, even with the old one at max opacity, it was like not super visible. So I am quite happy. I think we made a lot of progress on this. So on that note, I'll go ahead and kill the timer, and then let's check out this Star Wars art from Dado. Whoops, that was the wrong button. Let's see. How do we do compared to this one? You know, I totally see how head is an issue. I can see that we're like leaning into it a little more harshly. But yeah. You know, the head size thing may be because of the hair piece more than anything else. Well, that's tweakable. Okay. Dado art. Woo! Whoops, let's not. Let's get into the right account, shall we? So that we can actually see the server. Wish Discord would open on the other window. Oh, nice! Oh yeah, but that's making good headway. I like the shading on the sleeves. You do fabric shading really well. And, oh yeah. Oh, I love this soft, like, sagey green color. Well, obviously, if you've seen my stream for 2 seconds, you know that I like this color. But, like, oh, that looks really good. The helmet details are sharp, too. Cool. Green heart for the green shading, or green colors. I love this. Oh, so awesome. Oh, that's all living up there. And I like the way you've got the cloak here. It's got good asymmetry to it. And a nice pattern that pulls that in well. Oh man. This is just such a cool design. Like, oh yeah, no, it's a wonderful shade with gold. I mean, again, my stream is like built around this. I love this color scheme. Greens and golds and greens and yellows. Oh, they're great. But I love this design, but I also love it because it's a believable trooper. Like, I mean, even if the lightsaber is like a little bit out there, like I could totally see this as being something that both looks unique and good in its own right, but it would also fit in the setting. And that's so hard to do, because usually it either looks like a copy of something in the setting, or it's ridiculous and doesn't fit. But like, this one's really well done. I love it. Oh hey, Scopic! How are you doing? Hold on. Speaking of the green and gold color scheme, I'm loving what's happening with the chat names right now on my overlay, because it's fitting that. Oh, man. Oh, Scopic, to show you other thing on the stream, what we've been doing, still need to tweak the face a little bit, but I've been reworking that old Olivine character into, I think, a much more interesting pose, and I think that I like it much better. So hopefully we'll have some more fun with this character. You can see the old one on the right. It's, the design was just stinking all over the place. The new shield's probably too small, but yeah. And then we were looking at Datto's awesome art here, which is just consistently awesome. Yeah, her arm, maybe I need to make a little more of it visible. Things to tweak. But there's always room for improvement. The point is not getting too caught up in the details. I think some of that's an important detail, but we shall see. We had a nice reference image for this pose, by the way, which I just really like. Okay. Well, Scopic, you got here just in time for, unfortunately, I think it's about time for me to wrap up. There's still plenty of tweaking that can be done, but I think that we're probably going to have to call it here for tonight. This, honestly, like, we can ink this, but it's actually not too bad. Yeah, you made it. That counts. You're counted as present for the attendance. You won't get dinged on it. But yeah, next time, hopefully tomorrow, assuming everything goes well, we might even just jump straight into grayscale. 5, which would make up for the time loss we did on this. I think that this looks sharp enough that we could go ahead and start adding color to it. Or at least shade. And who knows, maybe we'll even finish it tomorrow, and this would be a big one to check off the list, given that it's been open for like 3 months. Not 3 months, but like 1 month. Too long. It's been open for too long. Second time trials. They've proven fun but difficult. I'm gonna test a thing, and if it looks bad, I'm gonna undo it. No, I think that helped a little, actually. And it keeps the spear free. Okay, that'll be my last tweak. I know we had like 50 seconds left on the clock when we killed it, so this'll be what we did with those 50 seconds. Yeah, the face needs work. I acknowledge that. The face in the old view was the one thing that was better. That's something that I'm gonna have to tweak. Let's just end an existing line. I know as a counterpart to Salt, this character will be interesting. But yeah, Olivine. Okay, well, honest to goodness, I think that's where I'm gonna wrap it for the night. Let's wrap it showing off Datto's art, because Datto's art is stinking cool too. I just really like this. I like this with the clean, oh man, the clean lines. It's so cool. Thank y'all for coming by, it's been fun. See y'all. Have a good one.